everyone, I'm JD. Welcome back to my channel. Alright, so I am excited to announce this latest giveaway. Before I just go into the details of it, I want to give some background to why I do this. Okay, so I don't know where to start. Alright, this is a bit about why I donate and why I do giveaways and that kind of thing, and the heart behind that. Okay, so I don't know, a few years ago now, quite a few years ago, I had this, I don't know, this perspective change or enlightenment moment where it just became a really big thing of mine it was really important to me to give to others who don't have what I have, giving to charity and just things like poverty and people in need. I just really don't see why it exists. Like, there's so many people who are well off and so many countries that are just rich. And it kind of baffles me that with so many who are so well off that poverty can exist. And I know there's a whole bunch of, it's not just, like, it's a very complicated issue, economics and politics and, a whole complicated structural things that, I don't know. So it's not an easy solution to eradicate poverty or anything like that, and all the other problems in the world, that kind of thing, whatever it is, violence, I don't know, just animal cruelty, war, famine, all that kind of stuff. And some things are unavoidable, like that kind of things, natural disasters, I don't know, refugees and all these kind of situations where people can be in need. And it really hit me that it wasn't fair that, I'll just make it very specific, that I, for example, can live in this country out of nothing that I've done, that I can live in this country with all this privilege and wealth and opportunity and safety, and health, and that others are suffering of no fault of their own either, just due to life situation or circumstances or where you were born. And I don't know, I just really don't think it's fair that I'm not doing anything to help, basically. So I went through this journey where I was like, what do I do? Do I live in a cardboard box? Do I sell everything that I own and give it to the poor? Do I go to a third world country and live there and advocate? Do I advocate in Australia? And I don't know. I went into this big cultural, I don't know, just questioning of the way I lived, that kind of thing. And it was quite frustrating for me. I was very restless about it, very agitated, that kind of thing. So it really meant a lot to me, and didn't know what to do. For years, I didn't do anything. Like, it was just sitting there with that feeling of, I need to do more, and I felt like, a real sense of responsibility that I need to do something, anything, but I didn't know what. So for years and years and years, I just did nothing. But then I thought, okay, so for me, giving, it's my love language, and I find it a relatively easy thing to do. I'm not good at sharing. I'm very possessive of my possessions. I'm that kind of person who, if I have a bucket of chips, I find it really hard to let someone else have one chip, but I have no problem at all buying them a whole bucket of chips. Like, would prefer to do that hands down any day. And so I have no problem with giving. It comes quite easily to me, and like you've probably heard me say a few times, I do end up getting myself in trouble with how much I tend to give, just in money terms. But yeah, just all this to say is, for me, giving aligns with my nature really well in that way. So that when it came to how can I act, how can I do something to help others, well, giving money was just a natural thing, that it's just the easiest way for me to do something and act, because it lines up with my nature, if that makes sense. And so then I was like, okay, now I knew that I wanted to give money regularly to people in need, or just to others, because I have so much, I don't need it. And what am I saying? Again, I sat there for years not giving money because I was paralyzed, because I'm like, well, where do I give it to? I thought I needed to research all the different charities and find out where it was going to be most useful, or I wanted a charity just to really connect with my heart, and then I'd give it to that one. It was just such a big thing. I wanted it to be like, it had to be like a very serious decision, and but it just ended up being paralyzed. And then finally, I read this book. Okay, so it's called The Life You Can Save by this philosopher, Peter Singer. And I really love philosophy, and I love this author. And then I read this book by him, and yeah, the arguments that he put forth about the reasons to give and how easy it is to give and the responsibility to give, it hit me again, like really strongly. And I thought, that's it. And people who say books don't change your life, they do. I know it. This book, it changes my thoughts, it changes my actions and my behaviour. After reading that book, I just did it. I decided to donate every single month, and instead of having one charity I donated to, I actually decided to donate to a different charity each month. And I know some people are like, that's not a good way of doing it. Charities prefer you to do a regular donation, and I totally get that. But for me, my heart, I want to spread it around, because I want to help so many. I can't limit it to one thing unless my heart's like really, really invested in it. But it wasn't. There wasn't one that just came to me. And so, there's lots of things that I really want to support. So the other thing is, I started off with just $50 a month. And I probably could have given more. Well, I definitely could have given more. But it was just a starting point. And the idea was to increase it every year by $1 until I am giving away at least half of my income every single year. And then eventually, hopefully, even more than half. And this idea came from my brother-in-law, actually, who said he knew someone who did that. They upped the amount they gave by $1 each year. And because that way, if it slowly increases, you don't really notice it. And so I've been doing this now for 5 years, I think, because I'm now up to $54. Every month I'm giving $54 away to a different charity. And because of my nature, again, it's not just a charity. So I do very much want to help those in need, but my heart is also, I love giving. So I also make sure sometimes in the year I also give to people who aren't in need, but just to give them a gift. So for example, I gave to a lady so she could buy some books, and that money was specifically so she could get some books, because I want to share my values around. So I'm a book reader. I love reading, and books change your life, and they can save your life, that kind of thing. So I wanted to spread that, and so one lady I gave the 50 whatever amount it was, and she was able to buy 2 books. And that makes me happy. It really makes me happy. Another lady paid for her to go to a conference, a writer's conference. Others, so basically every year, 1 month of the year, I like to open it up to, back when I was blogging as a writer, I opened it up to my blog readers, and anyone could just enter the giveaway. And just all they had to do was tell me how they would use the money. And so through that, one lot went to a lady to help her sister go to school. So, it's something, it's just a struggling family. So when money is tight, totally understand that as well. And so I was glad to be able to give that 50, whatever amount it was, to that lady to help her sister keep going to that school. Another year it was to a missionary who she said, God provides in random ways, and she saw that as one of those ways through me, just a random stranger giving away money. She's like, oh, well, maybe this is a way that God is providing for me in this other country. So I was glad to give that to her. I will link below. I've still got that my blog where it has basically every year and the month, and it shows the amount I donated and to where. And you can click on that and have a look if you want and see all the different places I've donated to. I've donated to things like Beyond Blue, obviously, and to Animal Aid, and because animal cruelty is a big fighting it is a big thing of mine too. Things to like the Red Cross and UNICEF, and helping those in disaster zone category thingies, and the homeless, and I don't know, all different, I'm forgetting them all now, but all different charities that I've donated to. And I don't know, I do that, I put that list up there for two reasons. One, because it keeps me accountable. I check that list and I'm like, oh, did I donate that month? I can't remember. And I check the list and it's like, oh, okay, cool. Two, because, and I make it public, and I say it because, because at first I didn't want to share it with people that I was doing this, because it's like, oh my gosh, tooting your own horn, or people would think that, and that's not my heart at all. My heart is just to simply help, people, and do something. Like, I just needed to do something. But reading that book, The Life You Can Save, one of his arguments about giving, and just in general talking about giving, was people are more likely to give if they know other people are giving. And if they know more people are giving, it's more likely they're going to be giving themselves. So, for example, when like a person comes around collecting coins and you're in a group and they ask the first person, if they say no, like, oh, sorry, I don't have anything, then everyone else in that group is more likely to be like, oh, sorry, and just wave off the person. But if that first person opens up their wallet, puts money in the thing, everyone else in that group is more likely to put money in that thing. And I know that myself. And it's not out of like, yes, maybe it could be peer pressure and, oh, everyone's looking at me and now I have to donate too. But not so much that. It's more just out of sheer laziness that you don't do it. Well, I find for me, you have to reach into your bag, find your money, where's your wallet, and instead you could just wave off the person. And it's like so much easier to just wave them off. But really, I don't know. I just know that firsthand for me. Like, yeah. And I definitely, see how that works. Like, if you do know lots of other people are already giving and donating, and it can be a culture thing. Like, if everyone just gave, like, come on. And, like, it's not... okay, I was just trying to... you can tell I'm passionate about this, yeah? I don't want anyone to feel condemned about not giving or judged, and I don't want anyone to feel pressured into giving, ever. Whenever I talk about this kind of thing and when I write about it on my blog, it's never, ever to make people feel condemned about it, and it's never to force you to give yourself. It's never ever to do that. All I'm doing is sharing what I do and what really means something to me, and then I hope it does inspire others to do something too, but not in a forceful way or a peer pressure way at all. Just as if your heart is moved, awesome. If not, that's totally cool too. I'm going to keep doing what I do. And yeah, it's totally cool. There's no judgment at all. And the other thing is, like, I know people give in so many ways. For me, it's easy to do this. But for you, it might be, volunteering or giving, I know people crochet things and they give blankets, that kind of thing, or just advocating and talking about it. Or maybe you work for an organisation. Like, so don't feel condemned if you can't actually give money, or if you feel like you want to give in a different way. Like, I don't know. But my heart is kind of, to say, this is what I do, and this is how easy it is to do it. Like, I don't have a lot of money. I work only part-time, and it's an intentional lifestyle choice so that I can create more and spend that time creating and writing. And so money isn't anything that I don't like, money, working for money. I work so that I can create, basically. So my goal isn't ever to make lots and lots of money. And so, yeah, I'm not like rolling in it or anything. And some days, some weeks, it is a bit like, oh gosh, I need to really be careful about how I spend money. But having said that, I've always been able to find a way to donate every month, if that makes sense. Look, maybe I had to catch up, like 1 month I might have been short, so the next month I would have donated twice. I just had to wait till the next payday, that kind of thing. But by the end of the year, I've donated every single month of that year. And really, the other thing is, I don't want this to be like a condemning thing, but for me, it's like, okay, I'm not rolling in cash or anything, yet I have so much more money than I actually need, because I can tell why, because I buy things that I don't need, aside from food and board and petrol and that kind of stuff, the essentials, which are debatable, how much food do I really need? Like, do I really need that chocolate? Yeah, for me, it's really a challenge to me that there's things that I buy that I don't actually need. They're just wants, really. And when it comes down to it, how can I justify spending money on myself for just pure pleasure when there's a person who's dying? And if we weigh it up, like the book said in The Life You Can Save, chocolate and coffee and a TV versus saving a life. Let's go save a life. And, I'm not like really gung-ho about that or anything, because I have a TV and I love buying myself chocolate, and I still buy myself treats and things I don't need, but just to treat myself and because I like it, and that's okay too. Like I'm still unsure about the balance there and what's okay and where my conscience is with that, and still working that kind of thing out. But like I'm cool with buying craft supplies and getting a block of chocolate every now and then or whatever. So yeah. Anyway, that whole tangent was about, like, really though, if I wanted to give more, I could give up the craft supplies. I could give up that block of chocolate if I wanted to give more. That's all I wanted to point out there. And in just that there are ways of giving that you can give. All right, let's just get on to the giveaway. So, yeah, for the month of August, $54, I will be giving away to a lucky YouTube subscriber. And please get my heart behind this. I know you guys are so lovely, and some of you might say things like, oh, please use that money and donate it to Beyond Blue. And others might say, oh, I really want to use that money and donate to this charity or to help my friend in need. And I love that. You guys, great. You've got awesome hearts, and I adore that. But my heart behind this, okay, is I want you to spend this on craft supplies. After hearing what I just said before, you're probably like, what? You're just so hypocritical or contradictory. And that's what I mean. Like, I don't have hard and fast rules, and I'm not hard-lined on this. It is a mixture of both. I want to help people in need, but I also just want to give gifts out of sheer joy and giving joy. Enjoy what you have. Enjoy spending that money on whatever it is that you enjoy, but also don't neglect those in need. That's my thing. Like, balance it out. And because of this month of August, everyone already is donating craft items, and the mystery packs is all going to this charity anyway, okay? So that's that balance side of it. For this particular giveaway, I want it to go to someone who... Okay, my heart really is that you've got something on your wish list that you would love for junk journaling, but you just haven't got it because either you're short in cash or because you feel like me, like you can't justify it, like it's too expensive, or you really need to pay other things before you can get that thing, or you just, yeah, you've like, oh, it's just way too expensive and I can't justify paying that. Or it's just you haven't got round to buying it yet. What I really want is for you to buy that thing on your list that you really want. And if it's more than $54, I want you to put it towards that. So it's very intentional, like maybe only enter. I don't want to put restrictions on this, but if there's that one thing in mind that you know that I want you to get it. That's my goal, is that you actually get that thing soon, like really, really soon. And I hope you are okay with this goal of mine. And all you have to do to enter is be a subscriber, like the video, and comment what that thing is that you would get with this money, how you would spend it. What's that thing on your wish list? And for me, like I will give you an example. For me, I would probably say washi tape, because there's this Washi Wednesday shop on Etsy, and I find their tapes quite expensive, and I'm not, their quality is amazing, and I've heard such raving reviews about them, and I'm sure it's worth that, and it is worth it, I believe, already, without even having had it in my hands. But for me, I can't justify getting it, and especially when I could get other things, other craft items that, I don't know. I don't know. So I just keep putting it off, getting that washi tape. But if I was just given, hypothetically $54, I'd go like, oh, well, I wouldn't have had that $54, and it's a gift to me to spend however I want. And so I will go get that washi tape. So that kind of thing. I hope that makes sense. And I don't know. I think that's all I need to say about that. Oh, wait, let me go through the logistics. If you're in Australia, I can do direct deposit through banking details and all that, or I can do PayPal. If you're overseas, it's only going to be PayPal. So just think about that, if that's going to be a method that suits you. And this will stay open until the end of August, this giveaway. And I don't know, I'm sure there's something I'm probably forgetting. I always forget little details. But just look at the description box below if you need to, I don't know, chase up any details. And yeah, I hope you get my heart behind this, because it is a joy for me to give, and it would make me so happy to be able to give someone this money to go towards whatever it is that they have on their wish list. Like, that just makes me so happy. And so yeah, I will end this video now before I ramble on too long, and I will see you again in the next video. Thanks guys, bye.